Hello, Millwall fans. Paul Eiffel here. It's time for Chat with Chaps.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Tuesday night live show. Can't believe it's a week on from our debut last week. So welcome, everybody. Apologies. You probably saw the first mistake of the evening there. You probably thought it was Chris that was going to be on, as it was a Paul Eiffel intro. Joe's never going to forgive me for not playing Casper de Noor. So many apologies for that, guys. But look, that ain't bad to start with Paul Eiffel, that's for sure. So I'm happy with that. Yeah, look, as you've probably guessed, guys, sorry you've been lumbered with me as your host again this week. Our lovely Joe is still away holidaying himself and enjoying himself. So that's the bad news. The good news is, just like last week, I still don't have to show you his goal this week. So we can spare you that again. No new jokes this week, I'm afraid. Just stick with the old one. So full packed agenda for you tonight, guys. We thought it was going to be not a lot to talk about at first, but it's been a busy couple of days. So we're going to have a look back at last night's game, do a bit of a review of that. We're then going to go on to looking at the youngsters. We're going to look at all the transfer speculation and various players involved in that, and then obviously look forward to the whole game. So look, to help me with that, as the guests as last week. So first and foremost, I said Joe's away on holiday. He's actually swimming with the fishes. Now, that doesn't mean he's had a hit from our dear beloved Angelo, but that does fit in nicely to introduce. Welcome, Angelo.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, just to let the chat know, obviously we're in a WhatsApp group, and every day we're getting fish videos from Joe. I think he's literally living under the ocean for 2 weeks, yeah.
Better than any other videos you might have received after last night, mate.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Joe would have been very, very happy last night with Casper de Noor scoring, got man of the match on ITV, and obviously his adopted son, Bangura Williams, as well. So, yeah. I bet he woke up with a big old, you know what.
He was very excited, I'm sure.
He was very excited, yeah, very pleased.
Thanks, Angelo. And as you've already heard there as well, down below us, the very handsome one for the ladies is Mr. Ben Green. Welcome, Ben.
Stop introducing me like that, Steve. Make me blush, mate. Make me blush. But no, yeah, great to be on, fellas. Enjoyed last week, and yeah, action-packed agenda tonight. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, look, before we kick off, I should just quickly go back and say hello to all the guys joining us tonight. So, evening, Carl. Carl was on about 7:45, so well done, Carl. Great to have you on board. And yeah, that's me. Disco's in the house again. Thanks for that. Evening, Chris. Great to have you here tonight. Thank you. Another regular, Husey. Evening all. End of an era. Oh, yeah, we'll come on to that. I'm presuming you're... do you mean Joe? Joe finishing, or do you mean Bradders going? I think it's probably Bradders, but we'll come on to that and elaborate, Husey. Great friend of the show as well, great support as well. Evening, Jeff, thanks for coming on board. Dave Martin, evening, Dave, good to have you. Chris as well, evening all, evening to you, Chris, thanks for coming on. Colin, good to see you, Colin. John as well, John Parr has joined us nice and early, thank you. I don't know what that's for. What have I done there, Chris? I've cocked up already on something, no doubt. Gary, evening all, evening, Gary. Craig has joined us as well. We've also got Inked Dono. So Inked Dono. I'm not sure I've seen that one before. So welcome, Inked. And I hope that's the right name. Dave asking how you feel about Bradshaw's mum leaving, Ben. So we'll maybe come back to that.
Yeah, we'll more comments. Sure.
So Connor there. Evening, Connor. Evening to Tony as well. So lots all joining us. Alex, not quite as late tonight, Alex. Well done. We'll give you a couple of minutes. Let the adverts finish before you join us from Emma Dow or Corrie, whatever it is you watch these days. But look, we've already got lots of people on, which is great. Thanks for joining us, guys. Right. So it's Paul's brother. So it must be Donovan. Yeah, Paul's brother. I'm tattooed, so inked Donovan. Nice one. Well, welcome aboard, Mr. Dono too. And look, guys, I think this week, bear with me. I might not get to all your comments and might misread a few or what have you, but I will do my best to get as many on tonight because, look, that's what this show's about. It's about everybody contributing, everybody having their own view and getting involved, and that's what really makes this show brilliant. Look, don't forget, as always, if there are any new people coming on, or if you haven't done so far, please like and, more importantly, subscribe. All the proceeds from this great channel go to cancer research. So I'm sure you'll agree, a really fantastic charity, and everybody is much appreciated. So please like and subscribe throughout the evening. So I will continue to put some comments on the board, but for now, we'll kick it off with our giant killing ventures last night down at the Den, packed. I believe it was a record attendance of 20,512. So look, a good night all round, but I'll hand over to the guys to give a bit of an overview of the game. Maybe kick off with you, Ben. What did you think of the game last night?
Yeah, I mean, when we spoke last week, Steve, I come on and said I really wanted us to batter them ultimately. I really wanted to see a bit of a dominant performance. Just wanted to see some maybe different patterns of play, what Alex Neil had been working on the training pitch. And I think we got that in a large part. I thought we were excellent first half. I was surprised how they let us have as much as the ball as we did. They kind of just sat off us, didn't they, and just let us have it. Made it quite easy for us. You normally think in the FA Cup games, they're all blood, thunder and guts, aren't they? 100 mile an hour. But it was kind of anything but that from them. We started well. I think it was a typical first half performance from us in the sense of we got in some really good areas quite often and we just lacked that killer instinct in the final third. Got out wide numerous times. Again, just the final ball in the box was just lacking. And then what can only be described as goal of the season. Not voted goal of the season. We've done something wrong. But yeah, look, a well-worked goal in the end. Obviously, the ball come back in. Coops with a good knockdown. If Mihailo hadn't got back up and scored, it was 100% a red card and a penalty because it was GBH pretty much. But yeah, look, it was good instinct, good bravery for him as well because he didn't know what the obviously other centre half might have been doing. Creative as well, I suppose. But yeah, nice to see him get on the score sheet. Went in at half time, 1-0 up. I thought if we get a second, it's just game over, isn't it? And then we did a typical us, just didn't decide to come out for the first 15 minutes of the second half. And then I thought, here we go, it's going to be one of those nights. They get one dodgy penalty or something later in the game and it's all going to change. But thankfully, we got the second goal. Really good goal from Kasper. Quite easily, he could have snatched at that and stuck it in the top tier, but a good finish. And then, yeah, wrapped it up really with the third, didn't we? So I think all round, mate, a relatively positive performance. I know we'll probably go into some certain players in a minute, but yeah, we was happy with it in the end, apart from that sort of 10, 15 minutes of the second half. But yeah, as I say, good performance in the end.
Yeah, I agree, Ben. Yeah, I think it's a good overview. And I think you're absolutely right. Look, it was slightly frustrating first half, wasn't it? Because we so dominated, which was good because, look, it was a non-league team. You know, let's get it right. But how often do you get these banana skins and, you know, they make you look like you're the non-league team effectively? I thought they were really poor, to be honest, first half. Particularly, we sort of bullied them a little bit, didn't we, off the ball a few times? I know Mayer got bullied off by that big fullback a couple of times, but other than that, we were winning the ball back comfortably. Mihailo's goal, I don't think you can I believe it's been on national TV today. It was on BBC News, apparently, somebody's telling me at work, where, look, it was special though, wasn't it? Fair play to the lad. That is quick thinking there to do that, and really give it one, didn't he, as well? It wasn't like just to stick his head out. He really got stuck into it. So, yeah, good finish. Another 2 good goals as well. The kid scoring was just phenomenal, wasn't it?
I left that one on purpose, Steve. I'm sure we'll go into a lot of detail about him and the youngsters. But, I'm delighted for him. But, as I say, really, really good performance, mate.
Yeah, I'd agree. Sorry, Angelo, over to you, mate. Oh, sorry, before we do, somebody's saying, Harry there, and I think somebody else has said, I need a proper mic. Look, I know you're right. I don't want to get too Hollywood too soon and start getting all the gear and
Chris will pay for it.
Exactly. So I'll see if I can get a nice big disco mic to improve the sound going forward. But Angelo, any thoughts to add on last night?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect because obviously we saw Tamworth really make Tottenham sweat, didn't we? And obviously they're in the same league. I believe they're like on top, like they're literally same position. So I was quite surprised, like you said, Steve, how easy it was. They caused us no issues at all in the first half, and like Ben said, they just had that 10-15 minute spell second half where there was that big scuffle that the ball could have ended up anywhere. But no, it was comfortable. Very nice to see Millwall win a comfortable game because we don't get to see that very often, do we? But yeah, I don't know if we want to talk about some of the players from last night. Great to see Cooper back. And he's like a machine, that guy, isn't he? I think he was supposed to come back after Danny Mac, and he's come back before. And he seemed like he hadn't been away, didn't it? And like having him and Tango together is just so lovely. And Joe Bryan, right? Joe Bryan, I've said this before. Sometimes good, sometimes shit, and that is Joe Bryan, isn't it? Because the first half he was horrendous. Yeah, there was one free kick where he doesn't clear the first man, and then all of a sudden they're breaking away, and luckily we dealt with it. But just so poor. Even the free kick he had was so poor. But second half, give the guy credit. He was involved in 2 of the goals. Obviously, fantastic cross for Denor's volley. And I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but he wins a big header, which then leads Bangura Williams to get the ball and then go on and do his little mazy run and score. That was a header won by Bryan that creates that opportunity. I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but when I rewatched the highlights, I did pick up on that. So yeah, and like the cross was fantastic, wasn't it, for the Bengal for the Casper goal. So Lenny was just Lenny. I got a little bit worried before he got that injury at the end, but he seemed to carry on because I think Wes was just about to come on, wasn't he? And then they changed their mind. Very impressed with Billy. I thought Billy had a really good game. And he looked like he hadn't been away. So I think the medical team have got him in. They've done a good job on bringing him back steady. And, he looked fine, didn't he? He's done the full 90 minutes as well. Casper got man of the match. I don't think there was really a man of the match last night, was there? There was no one completely outstanding. Mihailo should have got 3 goals, shouldn't he? Yeah. He should have got 3 goals. He should have got the 2 in the second half. But 1 in 3. If he's going to convert 1 in 3, I suppose we'd probably take that, wouldn't we, for now? He's only going to get better slowly, but I know Ben's got some question marks over him. Yeah. But again, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's only young; he's still learning. But yeah, he should have. Them 2 chances in the second half, he should have at least put one of them away.
The cutback one, especially, Angela. I mean, to not even hit the target. That was the second chance in the second half. You could argue it was fired at him quite quick, but I'd still expect him to get something on that.
Correct.
But it was the best I'd seen him link up play wise. Got to be honest. I thought his link up play was excellent. He didn't give the ball away. Some really nice sort of flicks, some first time passes. I thought he was excellent last night with his link up play. Do you know the thing the biggest question mark I have, fellas, is he's not quick, and that concerns me because he's not going to get quicker at 19. He'll fill out his frame. He will get better, obviously, technically, but he's not quick, and that's one thing that does concern me. Again, I always just talk about this. If I was a Championship centre half, would I be scared about playing against him? there'd be nothing there that I'd go, well, yeah, it's all in front of you all the time, isn't it? And good defenders will be able to defend it. Listen, he is 19. He's going to improve. I don't want to be too harsh on the kid, but that's my only criticism. He hasn't got a lot of pace. It doesn't seem like. But yeah, it was his best game in terms of holding the ball up and bringing others into play. It really was. But you'd expect that in terms of the level of.
I don't think he's slow, but I don't think he's fast, is he? He's like yeah. Because like you know that goal he got at Derby when he raced through, no one caught him up, did they?
No,
but that could have been they just got slow defenders. I don't know, but
no, look, I get what you mean, and both. He's a bit odd, isn't he? Sometimes he looks a bit sluggish, and then other times he suddenly look really quick. I tell you when he's closing down, he really puts the burners on, and you think, Christ, he has got a bit of pace. So I don't know if it is. He doesn't quite know how to use it, Ben, or that sounds a bit weird, but, whether he quite uses it at the right times. He almost gives up on balls with a big centre half, doesn't he? It seems like, well, hang on, I think you could outrun him there. And he seemed to just, slow down. But then, as I say, other times he's sprinting around like a lunatic. So, don't know. He's very raw, isn't he? Let's be honest. That's the reality. He's very raw.
One of the comments there, Steve, as well. I mean, he was delighted, wasn't he, after the game in his post-match? He could barely wipe the smile off his face, and you could see that. So he clearly enjoys playing for the club, which is great, because again, for a 19-year-old lad coming over from Serbia, it might have been a bit a difficult move going into London, and obviously playing for a much bigger side than Vojvodina. No disrespect to those guys, but yeah. But he seems to be enjoying it, doesn't he? Embracing the challenge, which is good. It doesn't seem like he's bearing the brunt of any criticism, if he is hearing any. The other two, just to mention as well there, Angelo, was obviously the two wide players. I thought Aziz was excellent. He was certainly our main outlet of any sort of quality in the first half. Every time he got the ball, he had the beating of their fullback. Thought he was excellent. And I mentioned for Adam Mayer, I've seen mixed reviews online today on Twitter. I'm very much in the positive camp with him. I really like him. He's direct. He's always looking to get down the line and get a cross in. I know probably could question mark the quality of that last night. It was certainly in the second half. There was a couple that he overhit, didn't he? When he beat his man. But I'm positive on Adam Mayer. I'd like to see him in and around the squad for the rest of the season if possible.
But also, although he wasn't, he wasn't outstanding or anything, the ball to the overlap for Brian to cross was perfect.
Yeah,
it was a perfect.
Technical, Angelo, and he was very technical. He didn't give the ball away again. He was positive when he got it. Yeah, I really like him. I really do.
Yeah, it was a perfect ball to Brian for him to cross. We've seen loads of them go out of play or go behind. It was a perfect ball. So, yeah, give me a little bit of credit there. Aziz obviously went off with an injury.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've not had any feedback if it's a serious one. Looked like a groin problem, which I think is going to be like 2-3 weeks, I'd imagine. So that's not good news. And then obviously the substitutes, Bangura Williams, fantastic, mate. Brilliant for him to come on and get that goal. Just tremendous. So pleased for him. And do you know what I loved as well is that he looks like a really great character, doesn't he? The players couldn't wait to celebrate with him. I felt that was so nice. Obviously the other guy, Sheldon Kendall, he just wasn't on long enough, was he? But to for us to get a good look. And then I don't know if anyone in the chat knows the other guy on the bench, Frankie Baker. I'd never even heard of him. No. I'd never heard of the guy. So if anyone in the chat knows anything about Frankie Baker, let us know, because it's a name that I'd just never ever come across. And to be honest with you, until that Sheldon Kendall got his contract signed, I've not really heard of him either.
No.
And when Lovelace come through, no one had heard of Lovelace, and all of a sudden he was on the bench. So
it shows what a good job, an amazing job the academy are doing, fellas, didn't it?
Yeah. We'll come on to that. I listened to TT Drives Home last night, and young Zach was saying that Kendall looked really pacey. I didn't see it, to be honest, but he said he looked really pacey. Well, that's a good sign, So, but yeah, Bangura, when he scored, the emotion in his face was fantastic, wasn't it? He was absolutely, he won't have slept last night. That couldn't have been a better debut. But what a goal as well. What a really composed, tricks. and then a composed finish in the corner. You know, it even got me jumping out of my chair. You know, it was fantastic.
Do you know what I loved, Steve? I not only loved his interview when he signed the contract and he said the Millwall fans are going to see a lot more of me soon. Have you seen his post-match interview as well, where he said he was done some homework on their keeper and his movement?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
how impressive is that for a young lad to come out and say stuff like that? So yeah, he clearly speaks very well if he's studying the game, like he said there, and yeah, he's got a lot of rawness, a lot of pace, very direct, and yeah, look, we can only hope.
Yeah, my only criticism of him. He needs to work on that knee slide, doesn't he, when he scores his next
I
goal?
did see that.
Yeah. But no, look,
the only thing he's done wrong was his knee slide. That's it.
He can do that all the time, mate, if he scores every week.
Yeah.
He's come a different route, hasn't he? So he's not like a homegrown and come through the youth ranks. He's been non-league, been around the houses a bit, and then home at Millwall. So there's, as well, look, we're probably going to come on to in a minute, talking about the academy and the young players. That's the different options you've got available, isn't it, for bringing youth through, you know. But before go on.
Sorry, Steve, do you know what it sounds like with him? His background story, it sounds like he's like a boxer. He's been knocked down so many times and he just keeps getting up, and now he's finally found his place. Do you know what I mean? And he's punching now. Do you know what I mean? Which is great, really great. Shows a lot about his character that he can take all them knockbacks and then come back strong. You know, that's good.
And that's half the game, isn't it? You know, youngsters, if they've got the mental strength, you know, and the determination, huge. I mean, he was at Tooting, wasn't he? I believe, and isn't that where Isaiah Jones was as well? So
I think so. Yeah,
come up through that sort of what a team they must they produce a few good players, don't they? A bit more often. Before we go on, just wanted to pick the really good point here from Dave saying. You can see Sir Alex Neil's style of play. What's your views on that last night, guys? Did we see any of that?
Yeah, I thought certainly the use of the wing backs we saw, didn't we? Again, probably take a little bit of a bit in terms of the opposition, but yeah, it was get it wide, overload in the wide areas, get crosses in the box. We weren't very direct, were we? Again, taking into consideration who we played, but there certainly seemed to be a pattern and a style developing in terms of getting it out wide and getting overloads in the wide areas. So, yeah, you could certainly see that.
Yeah. Angelo?
Yeah. Also, they started doing that passing at the back again last night, which they done for the Oxford game, didn't they? Yeah. And they cut it out for the Sheffield Wednesday game, but then it come back again last night. But yeah, I think it looks like the ball has to go out in our attacking field, out to the wingers, and get the crosses in, really. So, yeah, you know, it's going to take a bit of time, but I think Alex Neil, he's got a little bit of time this week up until the whole game to put some more ideas in. I thought his interview after the game was great as well, mate. He was so happy for Bangura Williams. He's only been with us 5 minutes, but you could tell he's invested already. You know, I'm really, really liking the guy so far. Yeah,
his interviews are phenomenal. Every interview he's done, he's so balanced, isn't he? And you know, don't get carried away before the game. You know, the bird on the telly sort of, you know, probably would have wound him up a little bit, saying, almost telling him, do you want to get that monkey off your back that you haven't won a game yet? And he's like, fucking hell, love, I've only had 2 games and only had 2 training sessions. But he just doesn't change his demeanour. He just answered it eloquently and balanced. And then after the game, he was very, very complimentary, talking up the team, probably better than we were, but rightly so. But he's so balanced, you think, this guy has definitely got something in he, you know, and you think, if he's talking to players like that, he's going to motivate them to do well, isn't he? You'd think.
Just on the coverage of the commentary last night, how bad were they? Just in terms of I know it's an FA Cup tie, and they always want the underdog to do well, but they could give us no credit in that first half. We had 70% possession. They couldn't get out of their own box, and it was all just Mill needs to do better. Mill needs to do more. Well, yeah, we do, but it wasn't from a lack of trying, was it? It was just from a lack of quality, and that's just us. So, they were doing my head in last night. And even when we came in after the game, there was no credit to us being professional or getting the job done. It was, they weren't very good. They didn't come at us. They let us get into the game. They were doing my head in last night.
any compliments we did get was really grudgingly, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
well, it felt like that was the case, Steve, didn't it? It was really through gritted teeth.
Definitely, they were. Look, I get it. It doesn't meet the script for them, does it? Of a giant killing and a real ding dong match, because they were poor, especially first half, and I'm sure they did underplay a little bit as well. But yeah, you're right. It was so one sided. When it was like, Jesus, unbelievable. But
I did think we'd done a professional job though. We didn't take them for granted. We were at the races. Oh, and a little special mention for George Saville when he come on. I thought he'd done really well when he come on, and maybe that's what we need to do with George at the moment. Give him a bit of breathing space, bring him on 60 minutes, and I thought when he come on, I think Neil did say it was a tactical change he made, and he needed George in there, and George did make a difference for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And just last one from me on that. Look, let's be honest, and I've no criticism of any previous manager at all, but I'm not sure I remember us blooding youngsters like we did last night. I know the game was set for that and all right, but we've had that in the past and we haven't done that. Is that Alex Neil or is that the new brief? What's your view?
I don't know. I heard some whispers. I had quite a busy day today, so I didn't really get a lot on Twitter, but I think there were some people saying that Harris wouldn't have played the youngsters and all stuff like that. I don't know, Steve. I'm hoping that is Alex Neil, because I did hear in a few of the interviews that Chaps put out that he does like to blood in the youngsters, So yeah, let's hope. I really don't think he's any kind of mug. I don't think he's going to put up with people telling him what to do. He just doesn't seem that kind of guy. So I'm going to say it was his decision, mate. That's to bring in the youngsters,
Ben, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with Angelo, everything you said there. And for anyone who hasn't watched it, go and watch Chaps' interview with the two Preston guys, one from the Lancashire Post and another guy used to work at Preston, and they echoed everything that Angelo said, or had said everything that Angelo said there in terms of Alex Neil's not the type of manager to come in to a new club and just hand the keys over to someone else. So there was probably an element of we had to have him on the bench and give him some game time because we didn't have anyone else. But listen, they've done well. They took their chances, didn't they? They've all impressed. I would like to see all three of those, or maybe Massey more and Bangura Williams more than Kendall. But I'd certainly like to see those two stay around the first team squad for the rest of the year. And Adam Mayo, as I've already said. So, yeah, I'd like to see him stay around the squad for the rest of the year.
Yeah. And look, I think it's a bit of both. I think it's, for me, it looks like Alex Neil buying into the new approach that we've got. And that's got to be good, because obviously that wasn't the case with Bomber. And I'm not criticising Bomber for that. There was clearly a bit of disharmony. So as long as that continues to work, I think that's a good thing. I think there, Dave's saying, would you keep Williams in the first team? What's your views on that quickly, lads, before we move on?
Yeah, we just said that, yeah. I'd keep him. I'd keep him in the squad for sure.
The squad, yeah.
Rather
than the first team, yeah. Oh well, look, and certainly maybe some cameo appearances and what have you. And hopefully that's more of what we'll see.
Steve, just before we end up on this Dagenham thing, before we close the door on Dagenham, the fourth round draw Leeds away. I thought it's a shit draw for us. Like, we either want like a Premiership team at home, don't we, or a Premiership team away, or an Exeter away. Do you know what I mean? But Leeds away, it's just so disappointing, mate. That draw. I was gutted when we got that draw.
Yeah, the
only consolation is they might rest all their players. That's
the only thing you don't want in any cup draw is a team in your division away from home. Doesn't matter. It's the only thing you don't want, as you say.
Just so underwhelming, that draw for me. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Do you reckon we'll get the 15% or whatever it is, the allocation?
Yeah.
No, apparently they've got to, haven't they?
Depends who played, and then it is the key. But
I'm sure they'll put it on they'll put it on at the worst time. It'll probably be a Monday night game or something, won't it?
Well, the way these fixtures have gone, it'll probably be on a Thursday night or something stupid, won't it?
Yeah.
The young lady on the commentary, not the commentary, she was the compare last night, she was looking forward to it. She kept saying, it's going to be a bit feisty, that, boys, isn't it? It's going to be a bit feisty. So she was obviously looking forward to it. But you're right, Ben. It's when you get your team in your own division away, it's an anticlimax. But actually, Leeds is never a bad draw, really. And if we can get a big crowd, it would be good. And like you, Angelo, I think they'll rest more players than us, and we might actually have a chance of going up there and getting a result, which would be nice. So,
when do we play them in the league? So we play them on 12th of March in the league. So it's about a month difference. Oh, they've already put a date on here, Saturday the 8th.
Yeah, they've moved the Preston game.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh. So is that confirmed? 3 o'clock Saturday?
Well, it won't be, will it? They'll
change it, yeah.
Starting point.
Just a comment on that, Anzo, what you mentioned there. Just a whinge about the FA Cup in general. How shit has it been that they've done what they've done Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday? It's horrendous. Yeah. It should be done at most over the Saturday and Sunday, and that's it. I know it's all done for telly, but they've ruined the FA Cup, in my opinion, doing that. And even little shout out to Dagenham. Not that I'd give two tosses about them, really, but it's harsh on those non-league sides that get a bigger club away from home. They've got no revenue money from last night for ticket sales because no sod went. Yeah. And, it's just, I don't like it.
It's a changing landscape, isn't it, football? It's not as we know and love, that's for sure. So I agree. Guys, let's move on to, and guys, please put in your comments, as some of you are. We're going to go on to the youngsters. We've talked a little bit about the youngsters, but we'll do a little bit more, and then we'll go into some of the rumours of transfers and actual transfers that are happening. So, go on to the academy. Obviously, talked about a couple of youngsters last night that came on. Any other thoughts on that, boys?
No, it's just positive that, I'm hearing that a lot of them have been training with the first team, and then obviously to get a few promoted to the squad is just fantastic, mate. And if we are going to find another Esse, we just need to keep doing that, don't we, mate? We just need to keep, getting a few of them involved, get as many training with the first team as we possibly can, and then send a few out on loan, mate. If we can get a few 17, 18-year-olds playing League Two football or National League football, it can only help them, mate. But, I'm liking it that, there was that lovely picture last night when they were of Massey and Bangura Williams and Kendall together. There's 3 of them there. I'm sure there's some more coming through, mate. I just the only thing that pisses me off is when you hear these stories of like Chelsea picking up one of our 14-year-olds or Man City picking up one of our 15-year-olds. We got to get a stage where we got to, no, they're not going. Do you know what I mean? And because they're seeing Esse, Bangura Williams, Kendall, Lovelace, they've got to think, I've got more of a chance of playing football staying at Millwall, and we've got to get that into them at an early age. Don't run off and take the money like Lovelace did. No one's ever heard of Lovelace again, have we? I think he had a couple of substitute appearances, then got injured, and he's just disappeared off the face of the earth. Whereas I think if he stayed with us, I think he would have definitely got more minutes, mate. And I just hope that, that we get that into their young brains. Just stick with us,
Yeah, I agree. I think we have been guilty as a club in the past of having good youngsters, and we haven't given them a chance. And I know it's a really difficult one. It's easy for fans to sit back and say, there's a lot of talk of this youngster being good. Let's give him a run out and give him a chance. But I am a great believer that, I know natural talent will always float to the top, and you will clearly, somebody like Esse must have been head and shoulders above the rest of his colleagues and peers. But I think there's also a fine line between, it's quite a level playing field with most youngsters, and actually sometimes the better ones, as they go up to a better standard, can't hack it, and the average, or the ones that look average and maybe not as good, actually can. And we talked about mental strength. That's a big part of it. And I think we can point to, especially over the last 5-10 years, there's been rumoured to be youngsters coming through who are banging them in for the reserves or the youth and what have you, and then have never really been given much of a chance. And I hope this is the change to that. We're going to have to accept there'll be some disappointments, but there could also be some real big wins. And as you say there, it's then showing everybody else, hang on, there's a route here. You go to Millwall, you get a chance. You show half decent. Yeah, and that's what a lot of them want, don't they? They just want that chance. And then from that, can you make a lot of money or, enhance our team or make a lot of money?
All them kids that Man City, I think Man City nicked 2 or 3 off us, didn't they?
Correct.
None of them made their first team. All right, Edozie got, he's got a good career going now. Got a good move to Southampton. The guy down at Plymouth, I think he was ours. Is it Guyabi or something? He was ours as well. There was another one that ended up at Leeds, or that might have been the one that ended up at Leeds. There was one other one, I think, that went to Man City. But yeah, we just need to try and keep hold of them, mate. Simple as that. Keep hold of them, throw a few in here and there, and hopefully we'll find a gem every now and again,
I think they have to be there, Ben, don't they? It's such a hotbed of football in South London.
Yeah.
Must be.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think just in terms of the process as well, I think the Stevenson thing stung the club. I think that was a bit sore for them. So obviously now you're seeing the lads that are maybe in and around the first team getting contracts maybe slightly earlier than we previously had done or would have offered them contracts. So, look, they're doing well in the league as well. Just having a look at them while you chaps were talking. They're 4th in the development league. So, listen, it's all positive. And as you say, Steve, it's got to be that conveyor belt for us to start, giving them a real path into that first team. Players would have seen Esse obviously now, but give these lads time. And as you say, we've got to accept that if this is the new way and the new model for us, we are going to have some disappointments and we can't expect them to be consistent. We can't expect Bangor Williams now to be doing that every week. It's great that he's done it, but let's just give him some patience now and see him play a bit part for the rest of the season, get some minutes under his belt and keep getting some more experience. So, mate, it's all positive. It's all positive, certainly from the academy perspective.
These young guys that just signed the contracts, Kendall and Bangor Williams, just as a matter of interest, what do you reckon the club's paying them a week, their first contract?
They'd be on 200-300 quid, I'd imagine, mate.
Really? Is that it?
I'd imagine from... I'd imagine it wouldn't be much more than that. Maybe 500 tops, but it wouldn't be much more than that.
Oh, I would have thought like a couple of grand a week, no?
No.
Oh, interesting.
I'd be very surprised.
I'd imagine Prem teams and that, and probably
Premier League teams would be, maybe even some higher end Championship clubs. And so, but I couldn't imagine it'd be much more than 500 quid.
Maybe some appearance bonus and maybe a goal bonus, maybe stuff like that. But, I know a man who probably would know in our group, and he'll no doubt put us right in the days.
Fair play to Bangor Williams. On the bright side, he's had a better start to his career than Esse, isn't he? Like, boom, straight on goal. Do you know what I mean? Which is great start, mate.
Yeah.
And obviously for the people in the chat, Joe has been banging on about Bangora for a long time, mate. He's always kept an eye on him, and he's obviously over the moon that he's what he's done.
And if there's someone who knows how to score a goal, it's our Joe, isn't it? So you can't get a better recommendation than that. And what's his actual position, Bangor? Because I thought he was a central midfielder. Is he, or is he a winger?
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm not sure. Do you know the other thing, Steve? I didn't realise he was as big as he is. I thought he was a smaller guy. He's quite a big guy, isn't he? Quite tall.
Yeah. And he looked strong, didn't he? Looked like, did I say, look, don't want to get carried away too early, but he does look like he's got something about him.
Do you know something? I was looking at his legs, right? I was looking at his legs. Esse, when he first come in, he didn't have the muscle around his legs, right? If you look at Esse's legs now, they are bloody muscly, yeah? And I noticed that with Bangor Williams last night. It didn't look like he had like the muscle build around the legs. So I think he's only going to get better and stronger so it's just a great start, and he's going to get better, mate. Because of his attitude, he's going to get better and better and better. And hopefully we've got a gem there, mate. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think look, it's exciting times, isn't it, for the youth, most definitely. Should we have a little whiz through some comments, guys, just quickly? Baker is a forward and he plays for the under-21s. He's a good player. Well, that's good to hear, David. Thanks for that. Look, it's amazing how much talent's coming through, Mark. I totally agree. that drop of the shoulder. Was it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he just sold him a dummy, didn't he? So it's to set up the goal and a great finish, as we say, really good. Baker has stepped up to the under-21s this season. So again, looks.
How old is Baker? Do we know how old he is?
No, I don't. Somebody in the comments maybe could let us know that. We've had that one. Sorry. Oh, here we go. Making it up again. Right, interesting. Yeah, we'll come on to this. Longstaff off to Oxford, apparently. Longman, you're getting me mixed up there. Or does he mean Langstaff? Not Langstaff. That's not the rumour, is it? I think
it's taken everyone then.
Romain yeah. Hope that's in jest, John, because I'm sure it is. Look, great lad, and we wish him well, which we'll come on to. Yeah, just remember Ivanovic. Yeah, he is only 19. He is a kid, 20 in November. Yes, Bradders, it looks like he's definitely going to Oxford, so we'll come on to that in a minute. Bobby T, I think it's Bobby T there saying bye-bye to Sir Tom. Yeah, I totally agree. We'll have to discuss that. Brian is still so poor at set plays. Oh, he took a terrible free kick as well, didn't he? Again, I thought he's going to put this one in.
Terrible free kick.
And it was terrible. My mate texted me halfway through and he said, how frustrating is Joe Bryan? I know we've already talked about it, but he 1 minute can be sublime and another minute he is so wasteful and sloppy, isn't he? You'd think a manager would get a grip of him and say, hang on, you got to...
It does feel like he needs that, so he needs a shake. That's what
Yeah, agreed. Well, and a bit of competition, which hopefully a Scanlon coming back will be that. Yes, I saw that before I come online. They put in, oh, bloody Rowett, he does like trying to piss off, doesn't he? So they put a bid in, doesn't mean they're going to get him, but yeah, they've put a bid on. Would you want to go to Oxford? Other than Bradders, it's different stage of your career, isn't it? Love Bradders, but he doesn't score. Here's an interesting one. James Poku for me. We'll talk about him, no doubt. I agree. I very much like him, and I know Chris most definitely does. And Mark there again, I agree. Neil is setting a very good first impression. I sat near the dugout and Neil was proper invested. Great to hear. He's a proper manager. There's no two ways about that. People having a go at Joe B. McAnuff there as well. Yeah, he's never been a big fan, has he? Old Joe B. I think he got a load of stick when he came down the den as a player, and he's never forgotten us for that. How old is Wes Harding?
I think he's like 28, 29, I think.
Yeah, late 20s. Yeah. He's not old, not young, but old. One for you there, Angelo.
Yeah.
Well, I would throw in there as well. I thought Mayer had put a bit of timber on, actually. He looked like he bulked up a bit, which I thought was just match practice. But somebody was saying his legs looked rather chunky and muscly. So must be something we're getting into. It's men's legs right now. So, yeah, we'll have to probably move on quickly on that. So Connolly or Bradders mum, over to you, Ben. Perfect link up. Come on, Ben.
Listen, a little... there's no... I love Bradders, right? I think he's always had a bit of a hard time for most fans. He clearly isn't up to the standard anymore. I think injuries have caught up with him, but I'll never knock him for his desire, hard work, and ultimately he had one of the hardest jobs in football, I think, for leading our front line on his own for the years that he did. It was one of the hardest jobs. But yeah, listen, I think it's a great move for everyone. He's going to get some game time. He's going to a club where he knows the manager. How we've got some money for him is beyond me. I really did think he'd be going on a free transfer. So the club have done really well there. But yeah, listen, thank you for your service, Bradders. I think he has been excellent for us as a squad player, and he's never shirked the issue. He's played injured at times. He's never been prolific. He isn't prolific. I don't think we've got to worry about him going and scoring 20 goals for Oxford. But yeah, thanks for your service. It's time for the club to move on. And him, so I think that's it.
Do we know what we're getting for him, Ben? How much money? We're getting?
Undisclosed, mate. So I don't. Listen, if it's anything, Angelo, I'm pleased by that. So I'll be going on a free, mate. So
do you know it sounds really cruel, right? But last night, I completely forgot about Bradshaw. I didn't even realise he weren't on the bench. He just completely slipped my mind, which is quite sad, really.
You know, the one who did that for me last night was Amaku.
Imako.
I didn't even think about him last night.
He's out till March, though, anyway.
I was going to say, is it?
Yeah, he's out. Yeah, out till then. But he didn't even enter my mind that he weren't in the squad. Nothing.
And when you say that, we've got some strength now, haven't we? You know, I know we need more. We definitely need more, as we're going to come on to. But we have got some quality, haven't we? You know, which is encouraging. I echo your thoughts, Bradders. I think anybody giving him a hard time is a little harsh. Look, he's been frustrating last season or two, you know, where he's possibly been played a little bit too much. But look, we haven't had a lot of other options. But you couldn't ask for a better pro. He's a proper, you know, loyal, hardworking professional, isn't he? And I imagine, well, I've heard lots of stories of him doing stuff outside of football in terms of signing shirts and, you know, gifts for kids and, you know, all presentations, all that. That's don't underestimate how important that is as a pro footballer. And he's a good bloke, isn't he? He's a good bloke, Bradders, without a doubt. So he goes with our blessing. So linked with that is possibly Connolly coming in. Thoughts on that, guys?
Connolly, right? Obviously, we was chatting just before we come on air. A few years ago, he was like the next big thing. But obviously, sadly for him, he's had a few personal issues. And my opinion is stay clear. But it looks like we're gonna get it done. I've heard, but he's not my cup of tea, mate. I just, you know, are we going to get another Nisbet on our hands? You know, so I would pass on this one, but it looks like we're going to go through with it. But listen, if he joins, I support him, and hopefully he proves me wrong. And you know, like you said, Ben, earlier offline, you know, he maybe just needs to find a home, and we could be the home that sorts his head out. You know.
Yeah.
Risky. I'd say risky. That's what I would say.
And a surprising one, wasn't it? It came out left field and you think, Jesus, you know, with the way we're going, other than him being relatively young, look, I'd imagine he is technically a very good player from all accounts. Look, he's got a hell of a lot of baggage with him, isn't he? So that is a worry. But look, simple. From where we are now, Bradshaw, Connolly, is it a step up, same, or a step backwards? What would you say?
I don't think he's an out-and-out striker, though, is he? I don't think Connolly's an out-and-out striker.
I think his natural position was down the middle, Ange. I think he's been playing out wide where he was for a little bit. Yeah, but I think he is an out-and-out striker. I think in terms of the way we're going, Steve, I think you'd have to go with Connolly, right? He's the right age. He's still only 24. Again, you wouldn't expect Alex Neil to potentially sign someone who he thought would disrupt the camp or, be a bit of a nuisance. Alex Neil doesn't strike me as that sort of manager that would sort of take any shit, really, just being brutally honest about it. So, listen, as Angelo mentioned, we spoke about it before we come on, he might just need a home. He might just need a team to care about him. He might need a manager to believe in him. As I say, he was the next big thing, wasn't he, at Brighton, and he was sort of shot right into the scene, played in Europe for him. So, yeah, there is certainly baggage. There is risk attached to it, but wouldn't be a bad sign, in my opinion, to say good age. If he did turn it around, there would be sell-on potential there as well. So, yeah.
Are we looking permanent or loan?
Yeah, worth a punt.
Is it permanent or loan we're looking at?
I don't know. I think it's been loan that's been rumoured, Anjo, isn't it? But again, those sorts of players, mate, I would always be testing the waters with an obligation to buy or an option to buy. See how he gets on for the rest of the year.
But is he actually at a club? I mean, look, at Sunderland, I think he was it was a 6-month contract, wasn't it, or something?
Oh, is he not there now?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's unattached or whether he's another parent. He was at Hull last year, wasn't he? So it's a bit of a weird. I don't know. Don't look.
I'm pretty sure Sunderland own him.
Do you think they've got his registration as such, and therefore?
I think
yeah,
so.
but
He's still at Sunderland.
I'm not sure there'll be a fee. Look, who knows? My view, look, like for like now, not as a criticism of Bradders, but probably is a move in the right direction with a huge risk. And look, if it don't work out for him, there's plenty of good boozers down the Old Kent Road. He can go down and ropes, can't he? So probably not.
Wait, talking about Sunderland, did you hear they took some guy on loan with an obligation to buy 20 million?
Yeah.
From Roma.
Yeah, see that.
20 million.
Well, it was rumoured. Has it happened? Yeah, it's happened.
They've got him on loan, and apparently he's an obligation to buy 20 million.
Is it an obligation or is it a clause if they got promoted? I thought it was that, Anto, was it?
I don't know, mate.
Yeah, I thought it was if they got promoted. So, but still ridiculous, right? Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think he was very highly thought of the lad they've signed. I think he was sort of the next big thing in Italy.
I wouldn't mind shopping in the same shops that Sunderland shop.
Unbelievable, isn't it? But I think he played for the manager, didn't he, previously somewhere, is what I thought I read. But that's an interesting one. I presume Hughesy there is saying, watch the video of his 10 goals. They're very good. I hope he means they're very good.
The bastard scored against us this season.
He did, yeah, which it was a nice finish. It was laid on a plate for him, but it was a nice finish. That's an interesting one. Yeah, he's absolutely right. Alex Ray had his own off-the-field issues, and he got by all right, didn't he? So, look, there's plenty of players.
But do you know what I think it is? I think this day and age, there's mental health plus alcohol problems. Like Alex Ray, he was just like a crazy drinker, wasn't he? He just loved the beer, didn't he? I don't think he had mental health issues. It was like, just give me a beer. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, he's brilliant. I loved Alex.
Yeah.
Do you remember Alex Ray, Ben?
Yeah, cool.
Ben. Yeah,
great player. And he did have his problems, but I think actually more when he left us, he got into the funny stuff.
Yeah, Paul Merson wasn't a bad player, was he?
That's true. Yeah, Tony Adams.
Yeah.
Tell you what, we're doing a good job here. We want Connolly now, don't we? Let's be honest. He wouldn't have been on many people's wish list. You wouldn't have said, who would you like to get in? Maybe, well, not at the moment. Maybe in seasons gone by. But look, I think like we're all saying, it's probably a gamble worth taking. So look, the big one, our beloved Romain. We haven't mentioned yet. What's the latest thoughts? And I've not been on media and all that today, so I heard Bournemouth were interested. What's the latest on Romain?
Yeah, well, I in our chat, I did say early doors would there be a bidding war, but I was told by someone in our chat that there can't be a bidding war because obviously the release clause. It's literally whoever meets the release clause. But it sounds like there is going to be a bidding war, which is great news for us, isn't it? Allegedly we got 14.5 million on the table. If Bournemouth come along and say, look, I'll give you 16, it's going to start, isn't it? So a lot of people hope that he goes to Bournemouth rather than Palace. But I think for his development, it might be better Palace because he's around his family, doesn't have to move, etc., etc. But yeah, it's sad, and it was really nice today. I just saw it earlier that Romain actually posted the video of Bangura scoring the goal last night. Which is nice. Really weird that he's wiped his Twitter. He's took everything off it. There's nothing about Millwall. It's been like that for a few days. Really weird. Yeah. I think he should have just waited, shouldn't he, to the day.
I mean, that normally tells you, Angelo, that it's done, isn't it? And he's just waiting.
Yeah. Why are they taking so long to announce it then? It's weird.
Because we're going to.
Sad, mate. Really sad that it's going, but it's life goes on, I suppose, isn't it? We just got to move on, haven't we, mate? Take the money and move on.
Look, I think we said last week it was amazing, wasn't it? How much love there is for Romain, and yet the balance was a lot of people were in the camp that look, if we get the right money, even going in January is not the end of the world. It's good for the player, it's good for the club. And, he would go, very amicably, let's say. I have to say, whoever put that media reel together of him that was doing the rounds on Twitter, wasn't it? It was, I think we had it on our chat as well, didn't we? Someone posted it. That, to be honest, I thought he looked even better on that than I realised he really is. I mean, some of his touches and the way he gets out of tight spaces is absolutely phenomenal, isn't it? Really.
When you think of Romain in 3-4 years' time should be an incredible player, mate.
Correct.
Because we know he ain't the finished article now. We know that. You know, the amount of times he loses the ball and whatever. But mate, in 2-3 years' time, if he goes down the right path, the head's right, you know, he's got the support of the family, he will be an incredible player, mate.
Listen, fellas, we can all take solace when England win the World Cup with Romain Esse playing wide right, and he scores the winner. We can all go, we won the World Cup like them lot do.
Yeah.
Imagine that, though, Ben. Imagine that. No matter where he plays, even if it is up the road, imagine that happening. You know, one, playing for England and scoring, but as you say, in a major final, bringing the trophy. Fucking hell, great.
Mate. And just on Angelo's point, I'm not as caught up as, not saying Angelo is, but some people are caught up on the Palace thing. I'm not so caught up on it, to be perfectly honest. I think for him, it's a great move. They have obviously a history of developing young players that go on, obviously Esse, etc. So yeah, I think it ticks every box, to be honest, mate. I think it's a great move for us in terms of the money's good. If the reported sell-on fee is in there as well, it helps us in the future. We were never going to see his full potential. We weren't ever going to keep him in 2, 3, 4 years' time. So we've always known he's going to be leaving. It was just a when, and it was always going to be sooner rather than later. So yeah, I think it's a great fee. I think it's a good move for him. He stays fairly local, so it's not a huge move for him. Yeah, I just think it makes sense.
Yeah, good luck to him. Good luck.
Ben, I'm like you. I don't know why. Weirdly, in a way, it's not doing me head in as much as I thought it would. You know, and I think the balance of that is, let's round it up: 15 million, 7 for Fleming. Millwall, 22 million from 2.
Unheard of.
It's unbelievable. It's game changing, isn't it? If we spend that money right, and there's the big challenge. That's the challenge. Look, we won't spend all of it, but let's say should get half. Let's say, what could you do with 10 million? You know, you should really get some good quality in. So at least these are great times. If we, as you say, the challenge is who and what we bring in. What about other positions, guys? What do we need? So looks like Bradders is going. Connolly possibly coming in. Esse going. Who do we replace Esse with?
I'd still like us to probably bring in someone for every one of those forward positions, Steve, I guess. Connolly will tick 1. I'd still like a 10. I'd still like a wide right player, and I'd probably want another forward. I know Connolly will tick a couple of those if he does come in. As I say, we don't know how bad Aziz is. He could be out for a while. We don't know. Fingers crossed he's not. But, yeah, I would like strength in that whole forward area personally. I've said before, longer term, looking at the summer, it would be a centre-half or a couple with the people that will be leaving. I don't think that will be a priority in this window, personally. So I think it is just...
Not even a loan, Ben? Not even a temporary loan just to cover...
I don't think so, mate. I just think Alex Neil will look at keep Tanganga fit, keep Coops fit, and you've got 3 centre-halves there in Hutch, Harding and Murray Wallace. I know not the best of replacements, but I think they will look at that and say, we've still got 5 centre-halves there or people that can play centre-half. So... forward positions for me, Steve. I'm all in. Get as many in the door as we can because that's where we really lack.
I'm with you. Any names? Any names you'd like?
I mean, Poku's been banded about, isn't he? But he's been injured. I did watch the young lad who was on loan at Walsall. I didn't actually know he was on loan. That Nathan Lowe.
Yeah, unbelievable. He's been doing, mate.
Yeah, he's been really good. I watched him the other day. He looks a lively player. They actually had another winger, Walsall. I've forgotten his name now. It's completely escaped me. But listen, I'm sure Alex Neil, like someone said in the comments, he'll have a list of players. The Preston lad's an interesting one. Ellis. Forward. So, yeah, I think they'll certainly be looking at a few. Alex Neil will want a few players that he knows to come in, won't he? So, yeah, we'll see what they can conjure up. Interesting. I still don't think we'll bring anyone in permanently. Just my view. Know what you guys think?
Right.
And we should be seeing Coburn within 2 weeks, shouldn't we?
Yeah, he's not long.
Mate, if he breaks down again, we just got to send him back. You know, it will be his 3rd injury. It's like,
I don't think you can outside of a window, Anzo. So I think we've just, unless they recall him, I don't think we can send him back. I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry guys, my power nearly went. I'm having a mare here, so my power nearly went, and my thing's not working. So, but we'll get on. We'll crack on. But well, a couple of names in the front. Poku, like, is that? Would you take the risk on Poku being injured till March if it was an option?
Yeah, he's. Do you know what? I don't actually recall watching him play, but everyone just goes on about him, mate. He's got to be some kind of player, yeah. But Peterborough, you have to pay over the odds when you buy a player from Peterborough.
That's the problem.
That's the only problem.
Yeah,
because their chairman is too much of a clever businessman, mate.
Yeah, he's notorious, isn't he, for that? But look, there's Ryan Longman. What do you think about Ryan?
I'll take Ryan Longman all day long, mate. I would. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a weird one for me. I really like Longman, but I don't know if it's just a bit of been there, done it, going back to your ex-girlfriend sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? That sort of attachment to it. I like him. I like him as a player. I've got nothing against him at all. But kind of just, I don't know, I want something a bit different now. It feels like a new era. I just want something a bit different.
Gary Rowett goes back to his ex-girlfriends a lot, doesn't he? Old Gary Rowett.
Yeah, he's not worried about going back to his ex-girlfriends at all.
Fuck, you know, he's got a house full of ex-girlfriends here.
He does. You're absolutely right. But I'm not sure. And I think like you, Ben, look, decent player, good technically, and probably was getting better and better at the end of his stint with us. But I think Harris brought the best out of him, didn't he? You know, he was a very different player under Harris. So, yeah, I'm not sure whether he would. I wouldn't be, heartbroken if we don't get him. I'd probably like somebody a bit more tricky, a bit more pacey, a bit more tricky. We don't have somebody who we don't have enough who take players on, do we? And look at that last night. We've seen it with Imaku, we've seen it with Aziz, we've seen it with Bangura last night. Like I say, we haven't got many who do it. There's 3. But you get my point. You know, we want more of that, and players who do it game in, game out, and a regular starter. In my opinion, that Poku sounds like he's that type of player, and that feels like the type we need. So it'll be interesting. I can't think. What about the lad? Oh, he's the other one, isn't he? He was mentioned, Louis Barry from.
Just about to mention him, Steve. Yeah, he would be right up. I would love us to get him.
Yeah.
Do you know
profile?
Do you know the problem we got, mate? Is that apparently Celtic have come in for him today.
Oh, well, no chance.
Yeah. So Celtic. There's like half the championship are after him, and now Celtic want him. So.
Yeah, put a line through that one then.
Yeah.
It was just interesting that it come out from South London Press, wasn't it? Because normally we don't release.
If we get him, then there's a bit of credit there for Gallen. If Gallen goes out and gets Louis Barry, I'll be very, very impressed.
I agree. That would be a wow sort of.
Yeah, that would be like, oh my God, maybe this guy can do something.
Yeah.
And again, someone like that, I would love to see, fellas, us have a buy clause in there. He's a sort of, it might be pricey, I get that, but with the money we're getting in, go and say we'll pay £5 million in the summer for him, because again, he's a sort of player that will increase value. Certainly with the numbers he's been putting up with Stockport, and if he carries that on into the Championship, comes from a good academy, etc. So he would be someone that those sorts of profiles would love anyone like that.
Yeah. I think there's just certain players, without even if you've seen a lot of them or not, you just know, don't you? That there's quality, and they've done it the right way with him.
Did he go to Bayern Munich? Did I make that up? Did he go somewhere like that? I might have completely made that up.
No, that rings a bell. It might. I don't know whether it's him.
No, he was a Barcelona mate. Barcelona youth.
Only Barca.
Barcelona youth. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why you always think the guy's destined for the top. And 2 things for me. One, like you say, Ben, I think that would be a real statement signing. Loan with a loan, option to buy, brilliant, but even just a loan, I think that would show real intent. But are you sensing, and it's obviously a change in tact with the recruitment team. Interesting you mentioned there, that was in the SLP. So Richard Cowley, I'd imagine it wasn't his name though, was it? Was SLP or was his name to it, Cowley? But
I don't remember it being from Rich, but just generally, if it comes from, as you say, if it comes from South London Press, normally they don't put out any names, or it's very late on until sort of deal's done. So interesting that they put it out there.
Yeah, and the point I was going to make: are you seeing a slight change in the way we operate? Because we always, a bit like Connolly, really. You don't hear a thing, do you? And suddenly the deal's done.
Yeah.
But we're starting to get little snippets come out, aren't we? About Romain going, and now about this Barry, whether it's true or not, but the sources are good. Is that the recruitment team playing the media and the media circus a bit more? Do you think? Are we going down that route possibly?
Yeah, I mean, quite possibly. For a long time, it was very, very tight-lipped, wasn't it? And you didn't hear anything, like you said, Steve. So, yeah, maybe a change in personnel and that whole structure. Maybe things are getting out a little bit now. Just on that, one thing that I will say is that, Angelo, you mentioned it earlier about Peterborough, they do really good business. Whoever we go to now, when Esse goes, clubs are going to know we got some money. So whoever we go to now, I think they might add a 500k or even try and put £1 million on a deal because they know we got some money. So, it'd be interesting to see how that plays out as well.
Yeah.
Correct. When you're walking about with loads of money, everybody wants, but they do. Ben, you're bang on right. That's the problem, isn't it? It's going to go up and up and up. Yeah. Millwall have got a few quid. We'll take them. So, listen, Gallen and his boys have got a job to do, and I know we're all looking forward to see who they bring in. Guess, how many do you think we'll bring in, realistically?
I would love us to bring 4 in. I think we will get 2.
Only 2?
Yeah, I'm same as Ben.
Blimey.
Yeah.
I think at least 3. But look, I'm saying that, and I suppose it depends who goes out as well. But be interesting. Look, that will just tell you that we are going to play more of the youth. So, and I guess, look, we're going to come on to it, but I guess it depends as well how the next 2 games go. 2 wins, I think we're starting to look up rather than stability or down. So that'll be interesting.
We've got 2 home games, haven't we? We've got Hull and Cardiff.
Yeah.
Yeah, both winnable, aren't both knife edge in a way. They could go either way. But if we've got any intent, we want to go and win them games, don't we? I think we should be. I'm not saying they're easy, far from it, but we should want to be winning those 2 games. And
Hull won't be easy though, mate. They've got their new manager who's obviously quite highly rated, done a good job at Reading, and he's going to start implementing some stuff. So that's not going to be easy at all.
Yeah. Listen, we'll do a few more comments before we go on to the final furlong of looking forward to the next Hull game. Interesting there from Chris. Forest are beating Liverpool. Great to hear that. That's good for the game. And yes, that could be us. I always you look at Brighton. Look where they were and look where they are now. It's not impossible. We can dream. I know it's Millwall. Maybe it would never happen, but you never know, do you? I mean, imagine.
Do you know what, Steve? On Forest, right? It drives me insane. Like that COVID year when we beat them 3-0, where Matt Smith got a hat trick. Yeah.
Oh yeah, forget it.
If it wasn't for COVID, we would have got in the playoffs, I'm sure, and we had a probably chance of going up. And we pissed all over Forest that night. And now you look at Forest now.
Yeah,
I know it makes me sick.
Chris is saying that last 2 years' time. Let's hope it is. Domains, I think that's Romain's development over the last year has been fantastic. Another couple of years like that, and he could be excellent in anything. Absolutely right, Mark, without shadow of a doubt. We were never going to see. I think that was said earlier, Mark, as well. We've done well. Now, look, again, a bit of love for him there with a move, which I think's refreshing to see. I think that's possibly right. I think Ben and I are saying that's probably a better move for him. Or it's a bit frustrating, but I'm not really going to get too hung up about that. Yes, we have. The only thing I'd say there, Dave, I think historically we've done it cheap, haven't we? Look, we are certainly not selling Rom on the cheap. 14.5 plus is bloody good money. Is good value. I'm not saying he's not worth that or worth more. But is a good deal. Our scouting has to be really focused. Absolutely, Mark. I think that's crucial. And I think hopefully we're going to see signs of that going in the future. Any thoughts on that one, guys?
I'll definitely. I'm with Alex on that one. I'll go for that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember your son's mate played against him, hasn't he?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, he was playing non-league with him, mate, and he said he was unbelievable. It was absolutely unbelievable, like a beast of a player, yeah.
I wouldn't mind that. John Fashanu style. That would do us nicely.
Yeah, I loved him.
10
John
million.
Favourites.
Yeah. 10 million. Don't forget 7 million for Fleming. Tanganga 5 million. Hey, whoa, James. Let's keep that one quiet. Tanga's gone. It's all gone a bit quiet on Tangy, and long may that continue. But yeah, look, the point you're making, absolute quality in the squad there that's worth money. Ballard and Creswell, 5 million piece. You'd bring those in. Yeah, look, there are good quality. Creswell, somebody was asking Creswell, he's abroad, isn't he, at the moment?
France.
France, yeah, there it is. Chris was asking. Mark, a creative, attack-minded midfielder would be great. I agree with that. It's a bit difficult, though, isn't it? Because with Billy coming back as well and a couple of youngsters, we are got quite a lot in midfield, but we haven't got that little bit of difference of maybe a creative midfielder, and dare I say somebody who can take a good set piece.
Steve, I think I did notice a little bit more since Alex Neil, especially yesterday's game, that Billy and Denor were taking it in turns to go forward, which is great. I love that, mate.
Yes, correct.
You know, before it would be Savile and Denor just sitting back, and this time, you know, they were, and obviously Denor gets his goal as well, didn't he? So
yeah, and a great finish, I must say. Great,
it was a great finish, actually.
Yeah.
I think the keeper could have done a little bit better.
I've got another appraisal tonight. Thank you for that, Mark. So I'll get working on that. Don't worry. Interesting one. Can Borough recall Coburn? Because it looks like Latte Lath is going.
I heard the deadline was like today or yesterday, or something like that, to recall your loans.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. So they can't. Oh, right. So if that's the case, they can't. I think Alex, they could. I think there was an option too. So they haven't done, and probably have missed the deadline now. Well, that's good news then, isn't it? Yeah. But like you say, he just needs to stay bloody fit, doesn't he, Angelo? That's
yeah. I think I saw that Latte Lath. Someone's put an £18 million bidding for him. Yeah.
For who? Sorry, Latte Lath. Yeah. Yeah. There's a
Premier League, Angelo, or
abroad somewhere. Might have even been America, actually. Might have been MLS.
Be an interesting one, that. He's not old, is he?
I don't think so.
No. Yeah, look, some of the money, don't forget, we did spend money. I'm not sure that was in our budgets anyway. That was our sort of summer budget.
Was Langstaff injured last night?
Yes, I heard apparently he came out and said he had a knock. Is that not right? I thought somebody told me that Neil had said that he had a knock. Well, I hope so. Otherwise, that's a bit weird that he wasn't. Shame, because for me, that was a game for him last night.
Yeah, it was.
And even though the Serb did well. I think Longman could be another Ben Marshall if we went back for him. Interesting. I must admit, I did like Marshall. So if he was only half as good as him, and he's a cracking lad. Absolute right good laugh if ever you've seen any of the videos of him. Poker would be a perfect replacement. Yeah, Connor, I think a lot of people are saying that. Look, strange, isn't it? We're prepared to even consider it when he's actually injured, but I guess you put some cover for yourself in there that you don't get stitched if the injuries don't improve and that you get a medical done and all that. Yeah, he is out of contract in June, so. Didn't somebody say he turned down quite hefty deals? A couple of teams had come in for him, and he turned it down himself. So I think he knows what he wants, Poku, and his agent, no doubt. Longman, no thanks. He split opinions there on Longman. We still need a replacement for Fleming. Yeah, I think a real, genuine, natural 10. So did we say... Connolly's not a 10 because some people seem to think he is.
I think he can play there, Steve. I think he can play up front in the 10 wide. I think he's one of those sort of utility players, but he certainly was a centre forward.
More of a forward,
trade when he came through.
Yeah, there's a good one. My brother going to Scotland and play for Celtic. What's the bloody point? Couldn't agree more. But somehow they do get players to go up there, don't they? That's for sure. What about Jed? There's an interesting one. That's
apparently Blackburn looked like his destination.
Really?
Yeah.
Go from me.
Apparently he's going to go Blackburn. Yeah.
What about So that's one that we haven't mentioned. Or has there been any more news on Schlupp? Jeffrey Schlupp, possibly?
No, that one went quiet.
I think that I don't think there was anything in that personally, mate. It wouldn't make sense, would it? Just going on our new journey, a 32-year-old, 33-year-old from Palace on loan. It just wouldn't make sense to me. That
As a stopgap though, Ben, or just as a till the end of the season, and experience and all that.
Frame it differently, Steve. Would you rather sign him on loan or see Adam Mayer and Bangura Williams get some more game time?
Yeah, I know where my money is.
Yeah, that would be my preference, mate.
So, that's a good shout.
Not for me. And I didn't know if it had legs, but not for me.
And Jed, unfortunately, Alan is off to Blackburn Rovers down the road, I'm afraid. No chance of getting Barry. Villa have big plans for him, and fans think
you can't say that just because his hair, John.
Yeah, yeah. But look, that would be a statement.
The only thing is on that is I think Villa pulled him out of Stockport because they wanted to play at a higher level for the rest of this season. Yeah,
I think he's definitely going on loan. So it's at our level or maybe Scottish Prem. You'd think they'd want to do Championship. So look, they're as you say, that SLP link does give you a little bit of hope. But I'd be surprised. But we live in hope, and it would be a statement signing for us.
The thing is with Louis Barry as well, chaps, is he's not. If Villa sell him, he's not going to go towards their FFP because he's not homegrown at club. They got him from West Brom, I think, as a youngster. So he won't count towards. If they do sell him, it won't be pure profit like they always talk about on FFP.
Ah, right. Yeah, interesting. Okay. All right. Well, look, I think we've done there with the options and transfers. I think it's going to be quite an exciting week or two where it looked like it was going to be a bit dull at first. So we shall watch avidly, and hopefully with Holiday Boy back next week, old GoPro Joe, he can give us all the updates on next week's show. So look forward to that. David, thanks for the reminder, and absolutely spot on. Please, guys, put your likes in, put any comments in. It all helps with the algorithms for the channel. But most importantly, please subscribe. Get your friends to subscribe. The more subscribers we get, the better it is for potentially generating revenue. And as we say always, every single penny that is raised is going to a great charity of cancer research. I think we've all been touched by that through our lives in terms of friends and family and people we know. And sadly, there's more of it every day. You bloody speak to people or read the news. So please subscribe and help us to raise some valuable money for a very worthwhile cause. So,
Steve,
yeah,
not on the agenda, right? But I just want to bring something up, right, that I noticed yesterday. Yeah, there was murmurings about when Steve Gallen done that interview that he announced that I call him the journeymen. The guys that their contracts are running out, yeah?
The senior pros.
The senior pros, right? It's better than the journeyman, isn't it? The senior pros, right, were not going to be offered any contracts until the end of the season when we know that we're safe, yeah? Correct. And then in our chat, there was alarm bells like, well, they're not going to care. They're not going to try, blah, blah, blah. Mate, last night, did you see the love that Saville and Honeyman gave to Bangura Williams, mate? That showed me them two particular players who are coming to the end of the contract. They care, mate. Yeah. They were so bloody happy. You could just tell by the cuddles and the whole lot. So I don't think that is an issue. Obviously, Bradshaw's going. It looks like he's going.
Yeah.
Obviously, Watmore. I don't know what's happening with Watmore. I don't know why. Is he injured?
I'm presuming he was rested.
Probably.
Yeah. Hutchinson, I think we all knew he was going to go this season anyway. Yeah. Harding, he's going to go, isn't he? He's got to get no game time. And then that leaves Honeyman and Saville and Danny Mack, wasn't it? And Danny Mack.
Yeah.
But them two guys there, I didn't see any problems. I felt they're still committed to the cause, mate. That's what I wanted to say. I felt that even though they might not have a contract at the end of this season, they were committed last night, and they were so happy for Bangura Williams.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, yeah. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever question Saville because I just think he's that type of guy and a Millwall. He's got Millwall in his blood now.
Yeah.
Honeyman, I'm trying to think what game it was now, and he looked a little bit. He knocked a shot over the bar, and he wasn't bothered about it. Was it Oxford? And he thought, oh, he's looking like he don't give a shit, But you're right. No, he ran his nuts off last night, didn't he? And
when Bangora scored on the highlights, you can see Honeyman go out with the crowd, because he was so happy for him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, look. Hopefully they're invested. You get it. Look, there will be uncertainty for those guys, but hopefully they're settled and want to give it their all till the end of the season. Definitely.
Yeah.
So let's move on, guys. We're an hour and 20 in, so we need to get wrapping this up. Thought it'd only be an hour tonight, as usual. But let's look forward to the Hull game. So give us a little bit of thoughts on that. What sort of team do you think we should play, and how do you think it'll turn out? Ben, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I'll go, mate. Angelo said earlier, obviously, Ruben Seller's in charge now, so I think they will have improved slightly, though I think they've lost 4 out of their first 8 games with him in charge. They got beat by Donny in the FA Cup, I think. So not a great result there. Don't know if they changed any players or anything like that. But, yeah, look, a team that are obviously struggling and surprisingly struggling. I think a lot of people thought they'd be in and around the playoffs, and they probably had hopes for that. So I think they're 2 good opportunities now against sides that are below us to pick up potentially 6 points in the league, mate. I think Alex Neil will be keen to get his first league win as quickly as possible. And as I say, we've got a real opportunity with 2 sides that are below us in the league. So, yeah, I expect us to win, mate. I think I'm stick a prediction on it. I think we'll win 2-0.
Yeah, good. That sounds promising. Scorers? You're going to say scorers?
Aaron Connolly scored 2.
Brilliant. That's the left fielder. What do you think the team will be, Ben? What would you reckon?
Yeah, interesting, mate. I think. Well, going back to the Daggers game very quickly, the biggest surprise of the night was that Tanganga stayed on the pitch for 90 minutes. I thought certainly at 2-0, I thought they'd have whipped him off. But they obviously felt like he could play 90 minutes and obviously go again at the weekend. Yeah, I don't think we'll see much change at the back, will we? I think that's pretty set. A really interesting point will be if Billy keeps his place or whether Sav comes back in. As we've already said, I thought Billy did really well first game back after a long injury. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he keeps his place. Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's going to be a bit hodgepodge going up the pitch, isn't it? If that deal is done imminently, well, I don't think he's going to be in and around the squad anyway. I don't think. It's going to be tough going forward, isn't it? Does Adam Mayer keep his place? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, it's interesting, and Angelo, I'll let you. But let's assume, obviously, Esse, as you say, will either be gone or not in a place that we feel it's right to play in, to risk him. So let's say you don't have Esse. Aziz as a knock, we're saying looks like it could be.
He's almost certainly going to be out for the weekend, isn't he?
So he's out. So assuming those 2 out, who'd you play in that front 4, if you like? Who do you reckon, Angelo?
We're actually just thinking about it. You might almost have to push Honeyman out wide, and you might have to play, maybe a slightly different formation, or Billy or Casper go in the 10. Maybe Casper probably over anyone. Maybe, I think that might happen. I'd imagine it'll probably be a change of formation if we're really forced.
Yeah.
I don't know what 2s now. I mean, thinking who do we play with 2 up top? I don't know.
Will Watmore reappear? Watmore might reappear.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, you'd like to hope so. Well, we're really thin on the ground, aren't we? We're actually going through it.
We are.
Ben, when you actually say them words, we hope that Watmore will be available. Then we're in trouble.
He hasn't been exactly in good form, is he? So
it tells you, mate, we've really got to strengthen on them wings, haven't we?
Put your teams in the comments, guys. That's quite an interesting.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting to see what everyone thinks.
I think it was BFS up front, Big Serb, yeah?
Yeah.
We saying leave him up front for now? Yeah.
It'll have to be, I think, mate, if Langstad's had a knock as well. So, yeah.
Honeyman, I think, as well, whether that's the 10 or wide, I think he has a role to play, definitely. At Matt, I like you, Ben. Maybe Mayer keeps his
He might
place.
have to start.
I don't
Yeah,
mind.
he
To be
might have to
fair.
start.
Yeah, yes, interesting.
Would he start Bangura Williams? Would he start him?
That'd be a gamble, wouldn't it? But, yeah, it'd be interesting.
I think he's almost certainly going back to again our points earlier, fellas. He's probably almost certainly going to be on the bench.
100%. Yeah, there's no two ways about it, mate.
Yeah, he's going to have to be unless Angelo, you're taking your boots.
Yeah, you got to do that,
and Joe's still away, so
our top goal scorer at Chat with Chat.
poor old Alex Neil ain't got a lot of options. But no, it's really interesting actually. I hadn't thought it's quite challenging at the moment. So
could you push Brian up and bring Murray in or Danny Mack?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Joe.
That's an interesting one.
He doesn't have to defend at least, does he?
He's a shit defender, so
yeah.
Do you know what I like about that, Angelo? And I'm bloody old-fashioned like this, but a bit of balance in a team. I've always been, and I know they play inverted wingers these days, but a left footer on the left side, right, where it gives you balance and players look comfortable and feel comfortable. So you're probably a good shout there. That's now whether he'd do that, I don't know, but that is an interesting.
But you know what, like Ben said, I think we're definitely not going to see Aziz. So it's going to be very, very interesting what Alex Neil does. You know that it's going to be really interesting.
Correct. That puts a different slant on. So what do you reckon? On the result, Angelo? Ben's going
I'm taking my 2-0 back now. I haven't gone through
Too late. 1-0, yeah.
So just looking at Hull's results here, I've got it here. They drew their last game, lost one. So they're not in great shape, so are they? Although they did give Leeds a big battle, didn't they? I think they had 3-3 games.
3-1 down or something like that.
Yeah. I'm going to go for a scrappy 1-0, mate. I am.
Yeah.
We've got to win, and we got Cooper and Tango back, so makes our defence a lot stronger. I'll go for a 1-0 win, and we need to win that game. I can't draw it, mate. We need to win on, and also it's a bloody 12:30 kickoff. We are absolutely pony at 12:30 games on a Saturday, mate. I think we've lost every single one, haven't we?
Oh, Jesus, lads. I was feeling positive, and now I'm after the team and the kick-off time.
We are shit at 12:30.
No, you're right. I don't feel good about this now. Look, it's a game we should win, and we need to win. I'm like you. We're solid at the back. We are definitely solid at the back. Decent in midfield. It's what he does up front is going to be key. So it's not going to be easy. But look, even so, don't take Hull for granted. But we should be winning that. So I'd expect us, even with the challenges we've got. And, I mean, sorry, just going back there. Look, Paul, good for you to join us. Thanks, mate. I'd love Thilo Asgard. Now that's the guy from Wigan.
He's got a ponytail, isn't he? That guy.
Yeah, and I remember he scored against us, didn't he? Was that the game? I think it was. It was the game when we went up there with Rowett. It was that run-in. I think it was the run-in, wasn't it, when we were going for promotion? And we were dreadful there. That was an awful match. And my mate turned to me, and he lives in Wigan, and he said his father-in-law, he's a friend of the father-in-law, whatever, said, you want to look at this Asgard. That was back then. That's 2, 3, 4 years ago, more. He said he's a real player. But I agree with you, Paul, and he's a 10, and he scores goals, but I think he's rumoured. Hasn't they turned down a bid for 3 million for him from Bristol City or someone like that? So whether that's just paper talk, but he might be a little bit out of our price range. And I hear you shouting, hang on a minute, we're getting 14 million for Esse. So maybe we do spend money like that now. But
it won't be long till we break our transfer record again, I think.
No, I agree there, Anso. Yeah, agree there, mate.
Interesting one there from Harry. Yeah, Nathan Jones. I admit, Harry, at the time, I would have gone for Jones, and I'm so glad we didn't now, because he's a bloody nutpot, isn't he? Jesus. No two ways about it. So, guys, I'm going to wrap up there. Just a few more. Cooper to score 1-0. Back four won't change. Savile, Billy in the middle. Denori in a 10. Mayer, Hanneman wide, and a big serve up front. Yeah, I quite like the look of that. Thank you, Mark. You've got me a bit more positive again. I quite like the look of that team, most definitely. So, I'm like, I'm gonna stick with. I'll go for a. No, I don't think we'll concede. So I'm gonna go with you, Ben. A 2-0 unless you've moved to.
I'm going Angelo. I'm 1-0.
I'll go 2. I'll go 2. I'm happy to go 2-0. But guys, anything to finish off before we wrap up?
No, I just hope we can take some of last night's result, mate, into the weekend. Be interesting to see if we do bring anyone in before Saturday for Romain leaves. So yeah, I think the rumbling. It's quite an exciting time in the life of a Millwall fan at the minute, isn't it? Which is not very often said. So yeah, it's interesting and it's exciting at the minute. So yeah, fingers crossed for 3 points on Saturday.
Brilliant. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah,
thanks
well done. Posted again, mate. Well done.
No, thank you. Cheers, Angelo.
Enjoyed the chat, and yeah, well done again, Steve, mate. You're becoming a pro at this, mate.
I don't know about that. Well, I need to get one of them big Chris microphones. I'll get one of them.
We didn't get Joe sitting on the toilet today, did we?
No, he's on, is he?
Yeah.
I don't think he's got out of bed, Angelo, to be fair. He's just watching the highlights on repeat, mate. And he's got a food service to keep sending up boxes of tissues. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, listen, finish off a couple of comments there. Listen, this show is nothing without you guys tuning in and putting your comments in. As I said, look, really sorry if we haven't got everything on or it's been a little bit disjointed, but really appreciate all your comments and getting involved. Thanks to Angelo. Thanks to Ben. Thanks, Alan. Appreciate it. So I agree with Ben. I think, look, we're in a good place at the moment. I think we've got a bit of a challenge at the weekend, but apart from that, it's exciting. I think there's going to be a lot of rumours flying around, which is always a good thing, isn't it? You know, you get excited about the rumours flying around because we haven't mentioned yet. Old Luis Suarez might be coming over our way. Jimmy Floyd Bank as well. So that's our front position sorted, no problem. So listen, thanks guys, thanks for tonight, and have a great week. And let's look forward to a nice early kickoff on Saturday. So all the best and bye for now.
Catch you later, guys.